Okay, everybody, welcome. This is Eric Louviere to Disclosure Group. We're also broadcasting live on Facebook, so I'm hoping people on Facebook can hear me okay. So there's like 2 viewers on Facebook. So if you guys on Facebook can just type in there that you're hearing me okay, and because I'm on the microphone on the computer, and then I'm just using my cell phone on Facebook. So let's try this out. I'll try to multitask, but basically what we're doing right now is this is Disclosure Group. This is a tremendous membership site program where you're going to learn a lot from me, but you're also going to learn a lot from other guest experts I'm going to bring inside this program. Right now, if you're in here at the beginning of Disclosure Group, then you're getting in here for no cost, and that's tremendous. So we're going to kick this whole thing off with a lot of goodwill and no cost. But I'm going to treat you like you've paid a lot of money. So welcome. It's working. Hey, Barry. Good. Thank you. So I'm going to treat you like you've paid a lot of money to be here and, really just deliver some really good goods to you. So let's cover a few things about Disclosure Group. First of all, this is the first ever live Disclosure Group webinar ever. It's the first one ever. So you should feel lucky that you're here, because this is a big vision that's a long-term big vision, and it's something I'm going to grow to be huge. And so a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, I was on the first webinar, or I was in the program at the very beginning when it was free. So this is going to be a historical moment for you, because you'll be able to look back and date back to this moment. Right now, it's not going to mean that much to you because it's brand new. But this is a big vision that I've had for a long time. And just to let you know, when it comes to membership sites, I've had a few that's done over $1 million a year. So I know membership sites. I know how to build groups like this, and I'm really excited to do it. For the past 3 years or so, I've been mostly focused on high-ticket clients. I'm still going to do that, but we're going to expand it. We got a nice, good team rocking now, and we're going to build some stuff here this year. So live calls, no freaking costs, completely free for you. This is my way of giving back and helping you unconditionally. And I'll tell you that when I first started out in the internet marketing world, when I first started out trying to help other people, make money online, I just started giving. That's all I did. Is I just went out there and started helping people left and right. I remember one time I did a call, and it got to that moment where I only had a couple of minutes left, and I had to do this group call. I didn't have anything. And I talked about goals and time management, and people loved it. So I started out just trying to help people with whatever I could think of, just to help people in any way that I can or could. And I think at the very beginning of my career, 10, 11 years ago, that really changed everything. So here I am again, going back to my roots, helping people for free. And I think that's a great way for you to kick off your business as well. And I've noticed, some of you that are in this program, your names in the private Facebook group that we have, you're already doing that out there in the Facebook world. So I can see that you're giving back as well. So that's awesome. So anyway, give back, goodwill, and we're here to help you unconditionally in this program. Why? And I'll tell you the real reason why. And some of you will really resonate with this story big time. But when I didn't grow up with money, I grew up kind of poor at times, and when I was in college, I didn't have any money either. And then right out of college, starting jobs and stuff, I didn't really have great jobs. I didn't really make much money, so I was used to being somewhat poor. And then all of a sudden, I start my own businesses, and I start making a lot of cash. And I didn't know what to do with all that money. I pissed a lot of it away. I kind of, I made a lot of huge financial mistakes with the money. And I noticed eventually, because I read a lot of books and I try to better myself all the time, I noticed that when I learned that I was basically sabotaging my success. I was basically taking the money that I was making and just get it away from me, because get this money out of my hands. Let's just, boom, get rid of it. Let's just get rid of this cash because I'm unworthy of it or something like that, because I kind of grew up poor. And So money is evil and money's bad and you're wicked if you have money, you know. So that's kind of, you know, how I felt, you know, and I think that's ingrained. It's kind of ingrained in my operating system because I grew up that way. I think when we're kids, you know, growing up, if you're taught that money's so scarce and it's so limited and rich people are bad and, you know, and we're not worthy of a lot of money, we're not worthy of abundance, we're not worthy of this stuff, and Eric, you're not real smart, you don't make good grades, so, you know, you got to make really good grades to be successful. So all that mumbo jumbo that's bombarded on us by parents and teachers and coaches, friends and colleagues and, you know, superiors and bosses and the media, especially the media, you know, all of that is conditions our minds, and it conditions our you know, our thought processes and our operating system to think that money is difficult, money is bad, and that we should. So I would just, you know, give it away. I would just blow it and just give it away. I didn't manage it very well, or I would sabotage my businesses and sabotage what I was doing and all that. And I think that what cured that for me, or at least helps with all that, is teaching for free, is giving back and actually helping other people. And I hear a lot of people, a lot of other marketers say that, you know, well, you know, I'm giving this to you for free because of whatever reason, and the real reason is they want to sell you something, or they want to get you to opt in and all that. And of course that works. It's called reason why. But this is sincere. This is real. I mean, I really give back because I have to. If I want to grow more, I have to give back, because if not, I will piss it all away. I will sabotage it in a heartbeat. I will screw it all up, because it's just the way I'm built. So for you, some of you, you're going to really resonate with this too. And you could take it and you could give away for free and help people and sincerely try to unconditionally help your brothers and sisters. And it's amazing what kind of success comes flooding in your way. So that's what Disclosure Group is all about. It's my outlet. I mean, those of you that were, you know, grew up like me in this business, and we were around the Warrior Forum. I used to do the Friday night chats, and every Friday night I would do a live call, and you know, we'd get in this conference room and chat with each other. Some of you will remember that. I'm recognizing some names. So you guys, you know, that have been around a while, I mean, I did that for years, and that really helped me. And, you know, I've just done a lot of stuff, did seminars and stuff for free as well, workshops, little half-day workshops in Austin where there's a lot of internet marketers, a lot of stuff that I've done to give back and help free, because it just makes me expand more, because I don't feel guilty, there's the word, I don't feel guilty for making a lot of cash, because I'm giving it away free, I'm helping it, and that. So you got it. So anyway, you're not just going to learn from me inside this program, you're also going to learn from other guest experts I'm going to bring on board. And I can't wait to do that. I already have a bunch of people in mind, and that I want to bring on and help teach you as well. Some quick housekeeping. Haters get booted out of here right away since it's free. You know, there's going to be some haters and trolls, so I'll just ban them. Questions? Usually on these calls will be presentations, and at the end of the call we'll do some Q&A. But we're going to try to keep it somewhat short. But sometimes I get, you know, really into what I'm talking about, I get fired up, and you know, I lose track of time, and next thing you know, it's been 2 hours. But we'll try to keep it somewhat short and have some fun with this. Recordings of these calls, the webinars are going to be placed inside the Facebook group. The link will be placed inside the private Facebook group, plus in our new LinkedIn group that Blake's working on. I see you, Blake, over here. I see you, Blake, on Facebook. Blake's working on LinkedIn, and then also, of course, inside the Disclosure Group members area are all three. So there are no income guarantees here. Just make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. There are no income guarantees here for sure. This is completely entertainment purposes. I absolutely don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm just a figment of your imagination. I'm not really here. Let's just pretend. All right, you guys ready? Ready? We got like, what is this, like 16 viewers on Facebook. There's like 500 billion trillion people on Facebook, and I got 16 of them, 17 of them now. 17 of them. Is there like any tapping or anything you could do on this? Like if you think I'm really kicking ass, like, can you just tap on there and it's good to go? My sister-in-law showed up. That's always fun. Maybe she'll learn something. Ready? You guys ready? Okay, Facebook group's question. Now, inside the private Facebook group, you guys asked a bunch of questions. I asked you guys to give me some questions, and I would answer these questions, and I would pick 2 winners to give away, like $50 or $100. I don't remember what I said. To 2 winners, and we're gonna pick those tonight. So hopefully you guys are here. But we'll pick the 2 best questions out of all the questions that were asked, and there were some really good ones. Some of them I didn't even read, so it's going to be interesting to see what some of these questions are. And literally, I just copied and pasted onto this keynote PowerPoint slide just minutes before we started this. So some of these are going to be completely catching me off guard, and some of them, well, I know what the questions are, I'll be able to answer them. So you guys ready? We got 18 viewers on Facebook now. Somebody share or something. That's pathetic. I mean, there's like 500 billion people on Facebook, and I got 19 people. Pat just showed up. We got Carlos here. What's up, buddy? I haven't seen you in years. All right, let's go. Andy asked, Andy B, my man, Andy B, he asked, do you think it does a person good to have mentoring or, say, a meeting once a year to reclaim any lost ground with mindset or to establish new ground with the way business may have changed, like an annual check-in? Well, I'd be more than just an annual check-in. That's for sure. And that I could do a whole weekend workshop on this one question. But I think that masterminds and actually getting around people who are of your caliber or really above your caliber, and sometimes below your caliber as far as, you know, where you are in your journey, getting around them with these key relationships and being a mastermind and discuss your feelings and discuss where you're at and discuss some of the problems you're running into or barriers, or I think that is priceless for your business, because this is what happens, especially if you're self-made and you didn't grow up rich and you kind of, you're self-rich, or you're making your own money, or you're making your own mark here. If that's the case, then what happens is you have to get outside of your own head. Okay? See, what happens is this is your head, right? You guys on Facebook can see me. So this is your head, right? And the longer you go without talking to anybody, your head just sort of shrinks. I'm talking about your mind, right? Your skills, your mojo, your abilities just starts to shrink and shrink, and you collapse within, you implode within yourself, and you just keep contracting and shrinking. Your head shrinks and shrinks. And then what happens is pretty soon you have more self-doubt, you get in your own mind and screw it all up. Your emotions get in there more than your intelligence. Everything that you want to accomplish in your business becomes harder and harder and harder the more you just rely on yourself. And the more you just try to fix everything yourself, and the more you just try to work things out in your own mind. You got to get around other people. You have to talk to other like-minded people, or people of higher, caliber, as far as they've succeeded more. They've been there. They've done that. They know what you're going through, or they have a higher emotional vibration where they've been. They're enthusiastic about what they're doing, and that's contagious. And so if you want to make a lot more money, if you want to get more successful, if you want to achieve more and become more of your, within the inside, you've got to get around other people. I think God made it that way, where we have to depend on our brothers and sisters on planet Earth. And if you think about God and we're His children, where it's like, well, He wants us to mingle. He doesn't want us to go in our bedrooms and ignore each other. He wants us to play with our brothers and sisters, right? So you don't want to just hide behind the computer, stay within your own little world, and just implode. Because if you do that, you're going to make less and less and less money. If you're making $100,000 a year right now online, you keep doing that, you're going to get down to 60, then down to 50, and down to $30,000 a month, and then $10,000. I mean, whatever, the math, right? I'm used to thinking millions. So $1 million a year will be $100,000 a month, so then boom, $80,000 a month, then $60,000 a month, then $30,000 a month, then $10,000 a month, and then you're thinking about going and getting a day job because you're just contracting. But the minute you get around other people who are high caliber, who are kicking ass, who are enthusiastic, who have confidence, who can lend you some of that confidence, who can boost you and propel you and grab you by the wrist and yank you up to their level, that's contagious. You can't help from that contagiousness, right? So we are often in our own little minds, and like what I tell a lot of people, clients and stuff, is I say, You already know what to do. You already know what to do to make more money, to double, triple, quadruple your income. You already know what to do to quadruple your income. You're just not doing it, right? You're just not doing it. Why? Well, a lot of times we're in our own mind and that little voice, and we're just screwing ourselves up. So yes, there's a lot of different reasons for getting around other people, and you can think of the common ones, like, of course, what you're saying here, keeping up with the latest stuff. Like my guy Preston, I was talking to him. I mean, he's given me some good ideas in the last couple of days that, I wouldn't have thought of those ideas. So you could even when I talk to my clients, sometimes they would give me I didn't think of those ideas, and so anyone you talk to and relate with that are like-minded, because you go talk to someone about internet marketing, making money, business, and they're not interested, well, then they're not going to help you. So there's got to be people like each other here in this program. So anyway, yeah, there. So Eric G. in the house, Eric G. says, the most critical lesson you have learned in business. The most critical lesson you have ever learned in business is man, that's a tough one. But I think what I'm going to go with here on that answer is, for those of you on GoToWebinar, you can see it's Eric G. I'm going to say the most critical lesson I've ever learned in business is to trust myself. Trust yourself, right? So just the contrast of what Andy's question was. Andy's question was, do you need to get around other people? Do you need to have masterminds and all that stuff? And yes, you do. But more than that, you also have to depend on yourself. You have to believe in yourself and trust yourself. And sometimes you have to say, you know what, all you snapperheads are wrong. This is the way I'm going to do it right now. This is what I'm going to go do, and I'm just going to go freaking do it, right? And you just go do it. Where you could take the opinions of others, and everybody's got an opinion, right? Everyone's got an opinion. You take the opinions, you digest them, you marinate them, you massage them, and then you have your information, and you make the decision on what it is that you're going to do. So I think there's kind of a two-part answer to your question as far as the most critical lesson I've ever learned in business. Other than pay your taxes, I would say that you probably need to depend on yourself. You need to trust yourself. You need to have confidence in yourself. You need to go get yours, because no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to, do it all for you. No one's going to give you the right answers. No one's going to bend over backwards to help you get there. No one's going to, save the day for you. A lot of people are looking for someone to save the day. They need a quick fix. What you have to do is you have to depend on yourself and really understand that when it comes to business success, your goals are your goals, and if you don't focus on achieving what you want as an individual, then you're going to become part of someone else's goal. You're going to become part of what other people are trying to achieve for themselves, and you're going to be drifting and just coasting and just reacting. So that's one of the most critical lessons I've ever learned in business. But the other part of that, to answer that question, is I think in business, and this is another Jim Rohn quote, but if you want more, you've got to become more. And I'm a living example of that. I really am. I came from the other side of the tracks, the wrong side of the tracks. Grew up mostly poor, and to get to a pretty successful level, that took a lot of me working on myself. I would have never got on camera like this or did these live presentations or 90% of the stuff that I've done over the past decade or so online, and even in offline business. I used to own an advertising agency. I wouldn't have done any of that if I wouldn't have worked on myself. So I think that's a couple things you can use to digest there. One more lesson in business, just to see if I can have three here for you, that's absolutely critical, is especially internet marketing, is you have to build a reputation in your marketplace. I think people buy reputation. How many people we got now on Facebook? We got 20 viewers or so. So out of 500 billion trillion people on Facebook, I got 20. It's awesome. You guys rock. So there you go. Next question, Mel. Mel's question is, techniques to repurpose PLR effectively, or about hire a talented copy ghostwriter, where's the diminishing value at? Or at readability versus cost, how cheap is too cheap? Basically front-end content to give away on squeeze page type training. Well, this is a difficult question for me to fully understand what you're asking here, but techniques to repurpose private label rights effectively. Well, I think, when it comes to private label rights, I mean, it's all in the traffic and conversions, no matter what it is you do online, right? So if you want to make anything work, you're going to have to drive the traffic and convert that traffic. That's just all there is to it. And so if you take, private label rights ebook, that's fine, because it doesn't really matter what the ebook is. What matters is what the sales letter does, or the squeeze page, or the traffic that you're driving traffic to. So I'll tell you, like when I first started out, I would write the sales letter first, and then I would drive traffic to the sales letter with a buy now button. I'm not saying you should do this, but this is what I did. I'd drive traffic to a sales letter. I had a PayPal buy now button, let's say for $5. And when people would buy the product, it would say coming soon. If you would like a refund, click here, and I'll give you a refund instantly, but coming soon. I just figured before I put in all that work, I didn't have a lot of time because I had a day job, but before I put in all that work creating an ebook, this was before I even learned that there was such thing as private label rights, but I'd write my own ebooks. And before I would spend the effort writing the ebook, I wanted to make sure that I could convert. I wanted to make sure that that ebook idea would actually sell out and actually make some money. So that was a valuable lesson for me, because I learned that the key to making money online was the traffic and conversions. And an interesting thing is, we did a test one time on a download button, again years ago with a membership site, and we sold a little cheap product, and we had Henry had a link on the download button, and we tested how many people actually downloaded the product they purchased, and it was crazy. It was like 60% of them, or 40% of them didn't, right around there, didn't even download the freaking product they purchased, because they bought it and then say check your email, and then the email would send them the product, and it was just amazing. So I don't think that when it comes to repurposing private label rights, it's really that important to worry about the actual product at first. You can make it better and better and better over time. What's important is the sales and copy. So I don't really understand the rest of the question here, but I'll just make up what I think you're asking. The hire a talented copywriter or ghostwriter, where is the diminishing value at? So I think what you're maybe asking is, if you hire a copywriter, how much is too cheap for the copywriter to generate the money to get your return on your investment, is what I think you're saying. And I think it's important. This is one of those depend on yourself, trust yourself type of things. But if you know intelligently, listen to this. This is a really good tip for you. If you're driving traffic to a product, well, let me put it this way: if you're let's say you're selling a product that's like weight loss. You know that people buy weight loss products, right? It's like a quadrillion, dollar industry. So people buy, how to lose weight products. And you know that intelligently. So if they're not buying your product, then why are they not buying your product, right? Well, if you know it intelligently, you know that you have to tweak the copy, you have to tweak some stuff to make it sell finally for you. But you know intelligently that millions and millions of people buy weight loss products, right? So the only reason it's not working for you is you haven't got it good enough from a sales perspective, from a copywriting perspective, from a compellingness, perspective. So you have to tweak to make sure that it gets to the point where it does convert. So really it comes down to, if you don't quit on the copy, if you don't quit on the conversions, eventually by split testing and all that, eventually the thing is going to convert and make you a lot of cash. And then you can spend all kinds of crazy money on traffic and do all that. So really what the kind of question you're asking is a question in business, is a big business lesson. All right, Facebookers back there watching, here's a big one for you. In most businesses, it's always a cart before the horse business. a cart before the horse business. It almost always is a cart before the horse business. So in other words, you're fearful of hiring the copywriter for $3,000. That's a lot of money, right? You got to put out this $3,000. You're fearful to do that because maybe you haven't done that or you're not dialed in yet, so you're fearful to do that. But you have to do that in order to generate the cash, right? So it's a cart before the horse business. That's why it comes funneling down to, will you depend on yourself and will you stick to it? Will you stick to it? Because if you have a loss product and people aren't buying your weight loss product, is it because you suck? Is it because you will never be able to make money in this business? Is it because it's just not meant to be? Is it because all the gurus are lying to you? Is it because of this or that? No, it's because your sales letters are not converting, right? It's because maybe your offer is not very good or very compelling, or maybe it's not presented in the right way, or maybe you don't have enough social proof for it, or something is killing the conversions, right? And if you know intelligently that if you keep going and you don't quit, then it's going to convert eventually. And if it converts eventually, you're going to make a lot of money. And so it's a cart before the horse business. And so like a lot of my clients I've taught with the high ticket stuff, I'm like, just go start selling the high ticket. They're like, well, I don't have a name and I don't have the. It's a cart before the horse business. As soon as you start selling something for $10,000 or $20,000, people are going to treat you like you are someone worthy of selling something for $10,000. It's a cart before the horse business. It's just that's life. Don't get pissed off at me. It's not my universe. This is the way it works. It's a cart before the horse. Okay, look at it from hiring a staff. If you're going to hire people to go sell for you, or hire someone to do your technical stuff for you, or hire someone to, whatever, whatever, a copywriter, a product creator, someone to handle your Facebook ads for you, it's always going to be a cart before the horse business. I got to pay the $2,000 a month for the person to handle the Facebook. I got to pay the money for the Facebook ads. I got to get the technical stuff set up and all that, and then finally, once it's converted and working, then the money comes pouring in, right? So cart before the horse business. It always is. Sometimes it's better to have a sellout offer, where you create an offer that's just a sellout offer that's just too good to be true, that's just you're biting off way too much than you can handle, and go sell the hell out of it. And the money comes in, and you rise to the occasion, and you meet the occasion, and next thing you know is you have a thriving business because you took that risk, you took that chance, and you depended on yourself, and you had faith that you would be able to handle all the obstacles, all the adversities, all the challenges that show up. Because if you get around us guys that do $1 million a year and stuff like that, you're going to learn pretty quickly that we ain't that smart, right? You're going to get around us, and you're going to be like, that Eric guy is really just not all that smart or impressive. I can't believe this dude does that kind of cash. How can he do that? And then you get around someone else, you're like, how does that guy do it? And you're like, how does she do it? And you're just like, if these snapperhead morons can do it, then I can do it too. And so therefore you cart before the horse, right? You got to just go for it. You dive and the net will appear. But what a lot of you guys make a huge mistake on is you quit, right? You jump around from one thing to the next. You got 15 different things that you're spinning at the same time. So you have, you got your Amazon business that you're trying, you got your blog that you're trying, you got this little CPA offer you're trying, you're doing some book deal over here, and then you're trying that, and you're trying, a membership site over here, and you're trying a weight loss product, you're trying to investing product, and you have like 10 things spinning at the same time. And, nobody could do that and make that successful. I can't even do that, even with a team. You got to only have a couple things and really zero in, and you got to constantly remind yourself to do that. All right, 4 ways you use to find local businesses to work with and how you approach them. Well, a lot of local business customers and clients of mine have come from just the internet marketing stuff that I do. So, like, a lot of brick and mortar local businesses are getting into the internet marketing world in one way or another, and so there's ways to capture them with different offers and squeeze pages and free stuff to get them in the door. I think that going after small businesses is a matter of just advertising straight to them, and since it's a high ticket with them, it affords you the opportunity to spend more on the advertising. So let's say you get a local business that pay you $1,000 a month, and you're going to handle all the stuff for that local business. once you get that local business, the first one, and they pay you $1,000, don't spend the whole $1,000. Take $500 of it and put it in advertising. Then you get another customer, they pay you $1,000. You take $500 and put it back in advertising. You keep doing that and grow your advertising, bankroll, budget it like that, and then you're constantly, putting money into the kitty to generate the leads and the cash flow. So again, if you look at it from the cart before the horse type of business, sometimes you got to sell out. Just do as much as you possibly can just to get the client, and then get the cash coming in, and then you can refine and do all that as time goes on and get rid of the stuff you don't want to do. Maybe you start out doing pay-per-click management, you don't do that again, you get rid of that, and you refine as you go. But I think, the ways that we've always gotten local businesses has mostly come from advertising, Facebook ads and, AdWords ads and Bing and even Twitter. I mean, it's all worked good. Traffic, you drive the local businesses to a squeeze page or to an article that has an opt-in opportunity, and then you capture them, and then the next thing we do is we send them to an application type of thing to get them to fill out the form so we can close them and sell them and talk to them and interact with them. Whew. Sally, is it possible to build a six-figure business without the stress of working 16-plus hour days? Oh, no, you got to work 16. No. I think so. Absolutely. I mean, when I first started out, though, I did exactly that. I worked my tail off, 16-hour days, and I was just slam busy. But I think now, 10, 11 years later, I can look at I can look at this from a different perspective, and I understand now why I worked my tail off back then just to make six figures, and it was belief, right? So what did I do back then? Well, I was selling a lot of cheap stuff. I had a bunch of different ebooks and a bunch of little sales letters. I was selling them for $5 a piece, and then I would sell them on the back end into ClickBank affiliate offers. So I had a weight loss, I had legal niches, I had all this different stuff that I was selling. So I had different websites and different sales letters, and then I would sell on the back. And it was tough because I was always I had to write emails for each one of those, and I was always messing with Google AdWords, and I was always, it was just every day was a lot of work. I was posting on forums a lot back then for the different niches, to get the signature link, and it was like, I look back and there's some really stupid stuff I would do back then. And then I look at now and I say, okay, well, what can you do to make that same kind of cash without busting your ass like that? And I'll tell you what the answer is: to have a more expensive offer. So when that changed for me was whenever I started providing copywriting services. So I was making, $7,000, $8,000, $11,000 a month doing ebooks and affiliate stuff. And then I decided because I was ready to quit my job. By the way, I had a job when I was making that kind of cash. So I decided I was ready to quit my job, and then I offered copywriting services. And when I did, I offered it really cheap, and I made a lot of money doing that. And then I started raising my prices, and I just blew right past, a small six-figure and went to a really hefty six-figure, added in a membership site, and then boom, I was over $1 million. So I would say that the way to do that would be like, well, let's look at it from just an example. So let's say you have a $1,000 offer. You have a $1,000 offer, $997. How many of those do you need to sell to make six figures? 8 a month? 10? So $8,000, $10,000 a month if you have a $1,000 offer. So what would you do for those people that paid you $1,000? And what would you do to get them to become customers? And so you kind of manage that and look at that, and that's where you would be able to make that kind of income without working 16-plus hour days. If it's a digital course, for example, and maybe it has some group calls, you're not going to work 16-hour days. You're just not. So I think the answer, Sally, high ticket. Michelle, was there ever a time when you resisted sharing your personality or struggles online? How did you get over it? I still have that problem. I'm much more cool in person, guys, than I am in person. In public. Just I'm funnier, I'm better looking in person. No, I'm saying that yes. I've always struggled to share my personality with people. I'm very kind of weird, like if I go to a seminar or a group setting, I'm always kind of nervous, And so I've always been a private person, and it's always been difficult for me to share my personality, I think. But I look at it as like I got to grab my personality and throw it out there. That's kind of how I look at it. You know, like I didn't want to be on video. But I'm like, you know what? I'm wearing a T-shirt. I'm not even, you know, wearing anything nice. I didn't set up in the back. I got my lights back there and stuff. You know, so it's like I just screw it and just did it, right? So who cares? I mean, whatever. So I think there's a you know, a switch that you switch and you're like, screw it. You know, just throw it out there. Just take your personality and throw it out there. You know, I don't know. I think that like one of the best things that I've ever read that really helps me with this is the book, The Slight Edge. The author, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about, I think it was that book, but he talked about how, he said, do you know that when you die, on average, only 10 people will cry at your funeral? When you die, on average, 10 people will cry at your funeral. And he said, man, you know, you live your whole life and only 10 people are going to cry at your funeral. And you meet all these people and, you know, you get in front of all these people and 10 people will cry at your funeral, on average. And the number one determining factor of how many people go to your funeral is the weather. So think about that. You live your whole life, and on average, only 10 people will cry at your funeral. And the number one determining factor of how many people actually go to your freaking funeral is the weather. And if it rains, you could cut your funeral attendance in half. In half. Oh, slice it. That's ridiculous. So so when your question is, you know, taking my personality, throwing it out there, it's kind of all connected to a lot of different things. And I'll tell you that for me, when I heard that, I'm like, you know, I'm not going to be afraid to speak on stage anymore. I'm not going to be afraid to throw my personality out there. I'm not going to be afraid to do, you know, a live call in front of 1,000 people, you know, on the webinar or even now with this Facebook thing. Although, how many people? We got 24 people. Out of 500 billion trillion people on Facebook, I got 24. You guys need to share the link or something, man. You guys are, come on. But anyway, I think that when you look at it from that perspective, you're like, you know, who cares? Like if I do one of my seminars and there's like 100 people in the audience, I don't care. You know, like it's like I have to tell myself that they're not going to come cry at my funeral. Maybe a couple, but that's how I look at that. Thor. Next question Thor has here is, what is your main source of traffic? Oh, wow, that's a main source, like just one way of getting traffic. I think there's two answers to that, because what's the way we get a lot of leads and traffic, and what's the way we get a lot of customers, right? So there's two kind of answers to that, because we may get like 1,000 leads from Facebook, but most of our customers come from the list and the word of mouth that I've already built over the years. So like, you know, if 10 of you buy my $10,000 package and I make $100,000 this month, I mean, 9 of you have been on my list for years. Or 9 of you came from word of mouth from other, you know, clients and stuff. So I spend the money on traffic. I do the traffic techniques and stuff, but it always seems like there's something else that's bringing people in. Like maybe one of you guys said to someone else that they should really go join Disclosure Group, get inside and learn from this Eric jackass dude and see what else you can learn. He knows this stuff. Then they go and they log it, and then they end up buying, you know, my high-ticket stuff. So, I mean, it's really hard to tell what our number one source of traffic. We're not spending a fortune on traffic like a lot of people do. I get a lot of leads and you know, Thor, I'm a high ticket. You've been a client, so people, you know, they contact me through Facebook. They read the messages. We're doing a lot of Facebook right now, a lot of Twitter and all that. Blake's doing a good job helping with all that, and that's it's like the rising tide lifts all boats. You know what I mean? The rising tide lifts all boats. So you're doing the Facebook, you're doing the Twitter, you're doing the Pinterest, you're doing all this different stuff. You're running ads, you're sending emails out to your list, you're doing webinars like I'm doing for you guys right now, and doing simultaneously doing Facebook at the same time. I should have another phone and be doing like Periscope. But that's like being everywhere, being omnipresent. It's pushing with a lot of force in the marketplace, and it's constantly being top of mind all the time, top of mind. And there's some people that's watching me on Facebook that have no idea about the group call that I'm doing right here with all the people on the GoToWebinar. And then some of you are on the GoToWebinar, and you're not even on Facebook, right? You don't even go to Facebook. And then if I was doing Periscope, there'd be a whole other group, different people over there that don't really jack with Facebook and aren't really in a GoToWebinar. And then those people would be seeing me on Twitter, right? Periscope. So all in all, I think what it really comes down to it is the best type of traffic is, yes, do it. Just be everywhere. And I see you're making a lot of posts and giving out really good quality content right now. That's perfect. That will grow. It's a cart before the horse business, like I was saying earlier. You just got to stick to it and keep growing all those things, and it'll really work out for you. All right, Lisa. Hey, Lisa. If you're here live, maybe not. Lisa's a friend. She's been around for a long time. She actually was one of the people in that group weekly call that I used to do 10 years ago. So she's been around a long time, or 8 years ago, whenever it was. So her question is, what are the top 3 things that are always a part of the foundation of a business, and what 3 things change the most? I'm often amazed by those tried and true things that always make it into my businesses, and then sometimes I'm amazed by all of the newfangled ways to do things too, making learning a real necessity as an ongoing thing. So what are the top 3 things that are always a part of the foundation of a business? Well, that's a great question. I think, one of the top things is sales. Sales. And just about every type of business on planet Earth needs some form of sales. I don't care if you're a doctor, if you're an attorney, if you're a scientist. You got to sell. You may do it nonchalantly and very indirectly and very non-salesy, but you got to sell in order to get the money, right? To get the customers, or you got to sell yourself to get a job. But I think sales is the one thing, one of the top 3 things that is always a part of the foundation of any business. And I'll tell you that a lot of the clients and businesses that I've helped get to another level, they don't focus on sales at all. They don't focus on it enough, and that's a secret for you right there. So I could take a business, let's say a dentist, and the dentist is doing $1 million a year, and very quickly I can determine all kinds of holes in the business because I know sales. So I'll see okay, the dentist isn't doing upsells, they're not doing back-end sales, they're not reaching out to their inactives, they're not cultivating new business, they're not using any kind of psychology or persuasion, they're not, almost lost you guys. They're not doing a lot of stuff, that they need to be doing. Hey, Bruce, what's up, buddy? See you here. Bruce Wedding in the house, one of my guys. See your post, man. You're looking good. I need to work out like you, buddy. Lose some weight. Look at that gun show. But yeah, what was I talking about? Guns and part of the business. So sales. So I think a lot of business, and a lot of you guys that are looking to get to your first $1 million a year, sales is like critical number 1. I get a lot of people and they're focused on everything but sales, right? They're focused on their logo, and they're focused on their WordPress blog and the pop-up and the, all these little new gadgets that are coming out and setting this up and setting that up, and they're not focused on selling a thing. In fact, a lot of clients, here's another big secret for you, that I've gotten who are newbies, all I do is get them something for sale. And then like the other question earlier, the private label rights, as long as you have something for sale, you can go market and sell it, right? So it's really quite simple that, a lot of people that fail to make money online, they just don't have anything for sale. They're not selling anything. So anyway, if you want to go from 0 to $1 million, maybe 1.5, then 90% of your focus should be on sales. And then once you get to that level, you can have a team that focus on the sales for you pretty much. But even then, you're still focusing on them to make sure they're selling. So cash flow is King Kong, and sales is absolutely critical. The other thing I would say that is a part of a foundation of a business that's absolutely critical is another thing that we've already talked about before, which is your mindset. And the mindset has to be constantly taken care of, right? It's like a garden. you know, you got to constantly water it and get rid of the bugs and pull the weeds and fertilize it and talk to it and love it and, you know, hug your plants. But eventually, if you neglect it, then the weeds are going to get in there, choke the plants, choke the veggies and all that, and your garden's going to die. Well, in a business, if you don't watch it guys, Facebookers, if you don't watch it, then your mind will start to eat from the inside, eat you alive, and then there goes your business. Down, 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 because you're not watering and feeding and taking care of your garden, your mindset, your attitude, your enthusiasm, and all that. And one of the best ways to do that is to get around other people or get a coach. All right, so next move here. The third thing, foundation of a business. I said sales, right? I said mindset. I don't think there's anything else. Is there anything else? Sales, mindset. I mean, as far as pillars of an online business, we got traffic, conversions, which is sales, traffic, conversions, product creation. What are you selling? What is a product? And technical. Those are the four main foundations of an online business. But the foundations of any business, aside from that, would be sales, mindset. What's the third one, guys? I mean, I don't know. I can't think of what's more important than as far as the foundation of a successful business. I don't know. I think sales is everything. As far as what she says, as far as what changes, three things that change the most. Well, I mean, I think technology changes a lot as far as platforms and what's hot, you know, and tools and all the trinkets and gizmos and all that stuff changes the most. I mean, today you may be using Basecamp, and then tomorrow you're using something else. Today you're doing Facebook ads, tomorrow you're doing Twitter ads. Today you're doing retargeting, tomorrow you're doing something else. You know, so I think the gizmos, the foundations, not the foundations, the platforms, the technology, the tools of the trade, you know, all that stuff is what changes the most. What stays the same is sales. You know, people like let me put it this way: 200 years ago, people bought products on how to lose weight. 200 years ago, people were buying products on how to be more beautiful and lose weight. Today, people buy products on how to be more beautiful and lose weight. 200 years from now, people are going to buy products on how to lose weight and be more beautiful, right? I mean, so that doesn't change. And human nature, human psychology doesn't really change either. They have a desire, and you have a solution to that desire. So your job is sales, right? Make the solution really compelling so they buy it from you and not somebody else. So that's really what it comes down to. They're ready to spend some money on weight loss, and they're like, do I give it to you, Bruce, or do I give it to you, Barry, or you, Dave? I mean, who do I give the money to, right? And, okay, Bruce has the best copy because he's a copywriter. He is. So I give him the money. He wins, right? So one thing that changes the most is technology. All right, I'm going to move on. So Adrienne, I think that's how you say it. I've been told that one main key to selling high-ticket programs is to make a promise of results. How can one make such promises and remain ethical? Whether you're selling the resolution of a health problem or a best-selling course on Udemy, how do you make the promise and not have it come to bite you in the ass? If the prospect follows your program to a T and for whatever reason still doesn't get results. That's a big question right there. So how do you sell high-ticket programs and make a promise of results? I think I know where you're coming from. First of all, sizzle sells. I don't know if you know that, but sizzle sells, right? Sizzle sells. So, like, you know, I mean, you can make a promise of, like, I'm gonna get you to zap that fat off your body and get you looking rock hard, six-pack abs, and we're going to do this, this, and that. And you know that if they do it, they're going to achieve that, right? Well, in internet marketing or make money is the exact same thing. I know that if my clients do what I tell them to do, they are going to make the money. They just are, right? What you can't control is if they're going to do it, if they're going to stick to it. And, like, someone can write a sales letter, and so one of the steps can be you need to write a really compelling sales letter. You need a really compelling sales letter, and then they don't write the sales letter, or they write the sales letter, but it doesn't convert. Then what? Well, you got to tweak it and make it better and better and better, right? So you don't get an F on the sales letter and expect to win. You got to get an A or a B plus on the sales letter to make it win. So it's not just about doing the steps. It's about doing the steps well, right? So all those are variables in there that determine whether a project or a business or an offer or something succeeds. Same thing with weight loss. If someone counts their calories and they keep their calories below a certain threshold for their age, weight, and all that, and if they burn more calories than they take in, they create a calorie deficit, they're going to lose weight, right? It's a scientific fact, pretty much, unless there's some medical problem that's disrupting that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one at home, so consult with your doctor. But I'm saying that that if they do the steps that they're going to achieve the results. So you got to make a somewhat promise, or people aren't going to buy. I don't mean you need to make an illegal promise like a FTC violating type of promise, but you need to have some sizzle in there. If I say, I'm going to share with you how I've made millions of dollars and help you do what I do, I'm not promising that you're going to make $1 million, right? But I need to present it in a compelling manner that gets people to buy. Well, there's two parts of what you're asking here. That's the first part, is yes, you got to have that in order to sell it. And I think that sometimes you just got to say, screw it, and start doing it. But do it where you're not making illegal claims. But you got to just say, screw it, I'm going to start offering very compelling, sizzly type of offers. Now, those of you at home that, aren't internet marketers too much who are listening to me right now might be a little offended, but sales, right? They do it everywhere. When I bought my new Lexus, they hit me with an interest rate, right? And I'm like, what? This doesn't make sense. My interest rate on my other vehicle is a lot lower. And I went to them and I'm like, you need to lower the interest rate. And they're like, well, this is the going rate for that car and it's electric. I'm like, that's bull. We had another Lexus. Anyway, I'm like walking out the door and they're like, whoa. And they slashed the interest rate all the way down. So I'm like, if I would have not said anything, you guys would have royally screwed me right now, right? So, everywhere you go, doctors, I have a client that's a doctor that is, I'm not going to say it, but he knows the inside arena for even a lot of medical doctors and stuff. Attorneys. Anyway, I could go on and on about all that. So the point is you have to make a sizzly type of offer, a compelling offer, right? But there's a second part to what you're saying, and this is what's really going to, and I feel sorry for, the 500 billion trillion people on Facebook who are not going to hear what I have to say right now. This is important. Write it down, Ian. I see you there, buddy. All right. You got to write this one down. The first part of your question is you're saying, I want to sell a high-ticket offer, and I know to sell the high-ticket offer, I need to have a promise, a sizzly promise, right? But how do I do that and remain ethical? And I answered that. You just got to do it. Just don't be illegal, but it's got to have some sizzle to it. It's got to have that. It's got to have it, or it's going to be really hard to sell. So you tell them that you're going to get them rock-hard abs and buns of steel. You tell them you're going to evaporate that fat off their butts. You tell them what they're going to do, right? This is what you're going to get. You make that golden, beautiful offer that they will chew through a brick wall to get those results and pay you a lot of money to get that result. You got to have that offer. But here's the second part to your question, to answer it, and where you're really coming from with this, because I've been there, I've done that, and I know why you're really asking this question. But what about, and you even say here, what about when they don't take your advice? What about when they don't do the steps, guys, right? You guys that sell stuff know this. You're going to help someone find Mr. Right. You're going to help someone lose weight. You're going to help someone, increase their mindset. You're going to, whatever it is the heck you do, right? You sell people stuff. They pay you for a result, and then you get pissed off because they don't do the steps. They don't take the action. They don't get the results because they're not doing what you're telling them to do, and you get mad, and at nighttime you're like, if they would just, I need to change my whole business because these freaking people won't take the steps I'm telling them to do, right? Is that what you experience? Is that what you experience, Facebook? That's what you experience, right? Here's the once and for all, write this down, circle it, print it out, frame it, put it on your wall, tattoo it right here. Understand that I don't care what it is that you do. I don't care how great you are at it. 80 to 90% are not going to do the steps. I don't care what it is that you do. I don't care if you're the world's greatest guru of all internet marketing gurus who've ever lived, and you're just the best thing since sliced bread, and everyone loves you, and you're just the best genius internet marketer that ever walked the planet. 80% of your people are not going to do what you tell them to do. They just aren't. I can line up 15 millionaires and say this is what you need to do, and 80% of them are not going to do it. This is how gyms make themselves rich. You got this gym, and there's like 3,000 people that have a gym membership, and if they all came at the same time, they wouldn't even be allowed in the building because the fire marshal would shut it down. The reason they could do that is because in January, everyone's getting gym memberships, and the place is packed, and you can't even walk through the place. And then come April, you can shoot a cannon through there, and you're not going to hit a single soul because no one's on the treadmills. But they're paying monthly. Should the gym shut that down? Eric, you've been paying this gym membership for a couple of years now, and I can see that you're obviously, not coming to the gym. So we're just going to go ahead and refund you 2 years' worth of gym membership and, pat you on the back and say, this gym's not for you. Do they do that? Do they do that? Do they do that? No, they don't do that. They don't do that, right? So you have to become fine with the fact that 80 to 90% are not going to do it. They're not going to do the steps. You have to become fine with that, or you're going to make yourself sick in this business. It's not for you. You will sabotage your business. You will screw it all up. You will take the haters' words and believe them as gospel. When someone refunds from you or charges back, you're going to beat yourself up about it. I tried to help this person, and he charged back on me, and maybe I just can't help people. I'm just not good at helping people. I mean, I've felt that, and I have people that come to me crying, telling me how I changed their lives. I had a guy not too long ago, and I was doing a Skype call with him. Right? He's a client of mine, and I was doing a Skype call with him. He's from a foreign country. English isn't his first language. He was nervous to be on Skype with me. He got on Skype with me, and he was just telling me all these really nice things. I could tell he was really emotional because I'd helped him make some money. I said, hey, man, let's turn the video on so I can talk to you on video. I don't usually do that. Let's do that, right? I had my hair all like Saddam Hussein. I hadn't shaved. I was like, screw it. Let's get on the video, right? So we get on the video. He gets on the video. And I'm like, I just wanted to see your face and be able to say, like, hey, man, thank you. I just wanted to be able to say thank you to him. And so he's on Skype. I can see him like this, right, for you guys on Facebook. And he goes like this, like he's talking to me, right? And then he goes, and then he just starts crying because, now I'm getting a little emotional. I helped him change his life. He's quit that job. He's making more money in his country than the top 5%. And yet, some people don't take the freaking action. They don't do the steps, right? So should I not help that guy? I mean, maybe he's 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 50 that actually did the steps and did what I was teaching them to do. And if I would have quit years ago because I got charged back or some refund or some jackass, was a hater towards me, and I'm like, I shouldn't do this because, they don't do this. They don't take the steps. They don't take the action. They don't make things happen. They're not doing what I'm telling them to do, so I should just quit and not help people. Imagine if I would have done that 10 years ago. There's so many people that I've helped quit jobs, so many people that have reached $1 million level, $1 million a freaking year. And imagine if I would have quit, and I didn't help them back then, because some people, most people don't do the steps. They don't do the steps. They don't take the action. But what about the 10% that do? What about the 15% that do? Now, look at it like this. Not only will they change their individual lives, like I help them change their individual life, but possibly I help them change their wife or their husband's life. And I help them change their kids' life, and maybe even their grandkids' life. But they're only the 10 to 15%. So you guys know what I'm talking about. They're out there trying to help people, sell people, teach them stuff, help them lose weight, help them in their relationships, help them better their mindset, help them grow roses, whatever freaking niche you're in, help them make money. You know that 90% of them, 80% of them are not going to do what you tell them to do. That should not prevent you from going out there and helping your brothers and sisters. That should not prevent you from selling aggressively what you sell. That should pump you up, and you should be listening to the small percent that actually run this whole world. Okay? The small percent that run the whole world are the ones that take action, the ones that do things, the ones that get out there and kick ass, right? The ones that go against the odds. They're the ones that run the whole world. Listen to them. They're the ones that are taking the action. They're the ones that are going to follow your steps. So, anyway, there you go. Boom. That was a good question. That one, I think, is going to have to be winner number one for the best question. Who was that? Adrienne. All right, so Kim, how do you push through and get the job done? I'm easily distracted. I put I put 3 of your questions on this same slide here because they're all pretty much the same question. So Kim says, how do you push through to get the job done? I'm easily distracted. Welcome to the world. We're all easily distracted. I mean, there's people right now that are going to log in, log out, log in, log out to this call. But Thor says, yeah, how to deal with procrastination. I got that bad. Always keep everything to the last minute. I hate when I do that. And then Eric G says, what is the most efficient way to remain focused and productive? So those are all very similar type of questions. And I've been asked this question a lot of time, and I'm gonna say that the best answer I've ever given to this I actually gave at the Warrior Forum seminar in Raleigh. Someone asked that question, and I said, or it was a group of us on the stage, right? At the end of the seminar when you can ask questions, and someone asked me that question, and I said, "You're asking me how to be focused and not get distracted." I am not qualified to answer that question. I'll have to defer to someone else. I'm the most distracted, scattergun shooting. You can ask William on the call or Blake. I mean, I'm just like, hey, work on this, and I forget what it is I told them to work on. I'm like, work on this other thing, and I forget I had them working on that, and then I'm like, change this, add that, change this. I mean, it is very difficult, Kim, Thor, and Eric, and you guys at home to stay focused. And it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to procrastinate and wait till the last second. We're all like that. I mean, almost all of us are like that, even the ones that do millions of dollars. So, yes, focus is extremely important. It's extremely important to making money in business and making money online. It's extremely important. However, understand that we're all very distracted. So here's the biggest thing I've noticed. Most of the people, okay, so I get distracted, but does that prevent me from making money? No. I procrastinate a lot. Does that prevent me from making money? Let me reframe that. Does it prevent me from paying my bills and putting food on the table? No. Does being distracted and not focused prevent me from putting food on the table and paying my bills? No. What I have noticed is the people who this is not their bill paying, food putting on the table way of surviving, let the distraction go so much that they don't ever earn the money, or they let the unfocus or the procrastination get in the way from earning the money. This is deep. So understand, if you have a day job and you're doing this on the side and you're going to try to quit your day job and do this full-time online, then you'll distract yourself or procrastinate and sabotage stuff and never go all the way through to the finish line to generate the cash because of mindset, right? So like, let's say you need $5,000 a month to pay all your bills and live comfortably. Then you're always going to be right around that thermostat. It's like when you walk in your house. I live in Austin, Texas, and it's like 155 degrees outside. So if I go into my house at home, I'm in my office right now, if I go to my house down the street and I walk into the house and my wife has the air conditioning set on 80, right? So I walk in the house and it's 80 degrees. It's like, oh, hell no. Like, let's put that down to like 69, right? So, like, that's my thermostat. I need to be cool because I'm cool. So I got to turn it down and be cool. So like other people though, they're used to 80 degrees, so they can just hang out and be like, fine, they're not sweating, they're just cool. Me, I'm like, oh my God, it's freaking hot, right? So you have your thermostat, maybe it's 74 degrees for you or whatever you guys in the other countries use. So you have these different, hey Pat, I see your poster, I'll come back to that. So your thermostat keeps you where you are, right? And I think the same thing happens in business and those of you that have day jobs and are looking to do this full time. If you're making $5,000 a month, then don't you always kind of stay right around $5,000 a month, every month? Even if you end up making a little bit of money on the side with internet marketing, you kind of keep it right around that amount, right? So maybe you make $8,000 one month because you made some money online. And then, or maybe you made $3,000, whatever. So you're always kind of right around that threshold. And those of you in business, like if you're making $20,000 a month, you're always usually right around $20,000 a month because that's your threshold to pay your bills and live comfortably and get by. And maybe you need to make a little bit of extra money because you're going on vacation to the Cayman Islands. Got an offer coming for you guys soon. And so you're always kind of, and I've noticed not only with myself, but lots of other marketers and business people who are at $1 million a year, $50 million, it's almost like the same thing. Like they are always around the same amount of level. So they got to generate that cash every month. So it's really interesting, right? So when it comes to procrastination and being distracted and not being focused and all that, it's like if you got $8,000 worth of bills and you only made $1,000 so far this month, what are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to do? Let's get real here. You're gonna kick some ass, right? You're gonna work your butt off. You're gonna do whatever you can. You're gonna be aggressive. You're gonna just go for it, right? That's what you're gonna do. If you got to make $8,000 and you've only made $1,000 this month, you need to make another $7,000 just to pay your house and your bills and your electricity, and they're going to cut the electricity off, and everyone's going to make fun of you. So you got to make $7,000. As you get after it, you get aggressive. You take your hat, you put it backwards, you work out, you do whatever you got to do, and you get after it. You go, and you don't procrastinate. You go for the blood. Boom! You go for the blood. And that's why we are all procrastination people. We're all easily distracted until we have to make that money, right? So then what happens is if you're at $20,000 a month and you want to be at $100,000 a month, something's got to royally change for that gap. Something's got to royally change. You have to do something completely different than you've been doing to get to that level, because if you continue to do what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always got. So if you're used to making $20,000 a month and you want to make $100,000 a month, you got to change. You got to change. You got to change something to where you have to make that $100,000 a month. I got to make that kind of money. I got people to pay. They're on the call right now. I got to make the cash, right? And if I have to make the cash, I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm not going to get distracted. But most people have this disease. This disease, I call it day job-itis, right? They got this disease, this virus, this disease that's eating their flesh, right? And blood's coming out of their nose and mouth and eyes, and it's called day job. And that day job is causing them to stay in that procrastination zone and that distraction zone and that self-doubt zone and that, timidness zone and that, scared zone and all that, because they got a day job, man. It's paying the bills. Got the country club, they got the nice car, they got the, they got the riding lawnmower, life's good, life's pretty good. In America, life's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to get by. And so, like I said before that I've learned, yeah, Dave, you could go to the country's worst trailer park hood, where everyone's walking around with, crack and cocaine coming out their ears, and everyone's dirt poor, and they're walking around, and it's just just meth houses, and it's just bad, right? And the trailers are falling apart, and they're all rusted, and it's just the hood, and people got shotguns. You could go in that neighborhood, and you'll find satellite dishes, iPhones, $500 blue jeans, Nikes, and Cadillacs. so people can survive in this country and a lot of the world pretty easily, even at poverty levels. And so it's really easy to be distracted. It's really easy to not be focused. It's really easy to procrastinate. But when your survival is threatened, you'll get the job done. You will blow right past distraction. All right, John, what has been your most important mindset breakthroughs? What specifically did you do that led to those changes, and how have those breakthroughs changed your approach to life and business? Breakthroughs, mindset breakthroughs. I mean, that is such a huge question. It would be very difficult for me to answer in this call. I would say my most important mindset breakthrough. I think, man, you may not like it, and John, I see you around a lot, man. I know you've been around a while. You might not like the answer because it'll probably seem quite simple to you, but I'm going to have to say that my most important mindset breakthrough of all time is just faith. Just faith. Just having faith. I mean, I couldn't tell you anything else that would replace that. So when I first got started making good money, I read the book Science of Getting Rich. And in that book, the guy, Wallace Wattles, talked about, all the different stuff he talked about, but what I took away from it was, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna believe it. I'm gonna have faith in it. I'm gonna expect it to come. I'm gonna attract it, and I'm going to just go for it. I'm gonna take the action. And see, the thing was, I hated my job, but I didn't hate the people where I worked. I didn't like the idea I had a job, but at that point, I wanted to make sure I did everything the best that I could. So I decided I was gonna do a really good job at my day job. Even though I had been slacking off for months, it was like, I'm going to do a really good job at my day job. I'm going to do a really good job cleaning my car and keeping the house clean. I'm going to do a really good job of ironing my clothes. Every little thing that I do, I'm going to do the best that I can at it and just try to do a really good job at everything that I do. But my mind, even though I'm working, doing a really good job at my day job, my mind is really on my goal of quitting that day job and having an internet marketing business. And I was just going to have full 100% unshakable faith that I was going to achieve a six-figure income online. Like, there was zero doubts. And if a doubt crept into my mind, I would squash it right away and replace it with another thought. So if I had a thought that was like, well, it takes money to make money, Eric, and you ain't got no money, then I would be like, well, does it take money to earn? That's a myth, which it is a myth. I'm like, I could put in labor and I could do all this other stuff to make the money, and so I would always replace thoughts. If I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, you're not a good enough speaker to do live webinars in front of 16 people on Facebook. Not on a webinar. There's a lot more people on the webinar. My fans. So I think that is the biggest breakthrough I had was I just had unshakable faith that it was going to work, even though I didn't have all the answers. Even though I didn't know what was going to happen. I started an advertising business in my 20s, and I had $2,000 to my name. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was going to have this business directory, and I was going to distribute it throughout Bryan and College Station, Texas, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I shouldn't have done it, okay? But I went around and I built a team of salespeople, and we went and sold advertising for this directory that was just an idea. We had never had the directory before, and businesses were paying us money for a directory that has never existed. Good money. And then I had to go print and pay the printing factory to print those directories. And it was $70,000. I'll never forget. I didn't have $70,000. We had spent a lot of the money that we got from the businesses paying the advertising, so I had to go out and do whatever I could to get the cash, all right? Beg, borrow, get loans, make promises, whatever I had to do to get the cash. And we did it. We turned that into a $1 million business pretty much, and it was all based on faith. It wouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have done it. And so I think that one of the biggest mindset breakthroughs that I ever had was just you got to just have the faith that it's going to work, and then therefore you'll have the courage to go ahead and take the actions and take the dive and do it. But I think it takes faith, and you have to keep reminding yourself, like, every day. No, not every day. Every hour you have to remind yourself that you have to have that faith. Okay, so Lewis, Eric, could you bring some ideas about selling a high-ticket service, how to market it properly? Yeah, that's probably too big of a question. I think I've been on here quite a while, so we're going to have to probably take some of these questions to the next call. And but let me go through and see if there's any quicker answers here. Eric, if you start over again, what would you do and why? Sharon, that's a good question. So Sharon says, if you had to start all over again, what would you do and why? If I had to start all over again, I would start off with a high-ticket offer. I would pick something that's about $1,000, somewhere in that neighborhood, $2,500, $1,000, play with the price a little bit, and I would try to create the best offer I could at that price. I would try to create, some type of offer. We had most of it is digital, where they could watch videos or whatever, and then maybe some of it would be live calls like this, just to add that element to it. And I would create a $1,000 offer, and I would go sell the snot out of it. I would keep marketing, come at different angles, do everything I can. If I come out with a free ebook, I give it out there to the market for free, but right after they opt in to get the ebook, the next thing they're getting hit with is that $1,000 offer. If I do a webinar like this, at the end of the webinar, I'm telling them to go get this offer. Everything that I do, posting on Facebook and Twitter and all over the place, everything that I'm doing is them to get that $1,000 offer. So the $1,000 offer becomes the most important part. So you got to look at yourself. What are your skills? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are you good at right now? Can you create websites? Can you write sales copy? Can you do graphics? What are your resources that you have right now? What are the weapons you have right now? What are your bag of tricks? What is in your arsenal right now? And take that and go use it to create that offer to generate that cash. If you have absolutely nothing, then you need to understand that you can find specialized knowledge quite quickly. So the way that works is you can pick one thing, like how to get traffic with YouTube. You can pick that one thing, how to get traffic with YouTube, and spend the next week or two completely immersed in learning everything that you can learn about just that one thing. We call that specific knowledge. It's in the book Think and Grow Rich. You learn everything you can about that one topic, how to get YouTube traffic. You spend at least 2 weeks mastering it, right? Learning, buying courses, whatever you need to do for just that one thing. By the time you finish those 2 weeks, and if you have done your job and you learned everything you can about YouTube traffic, you will know more about YouTube traffic than 99% of the entire world. You will know more than about 90% of all the internet marketing gurus out there, maybe 97% of the internet marketing gurus, and you will know more about YouTube traffic, YouTube marketing, than 99% of all the marketers that are looking to make money online. You'll know more than 99% of all the small businesses out there in just 2 weeks. So then you can have a $1,000 offer where, not only do you teach them how to do it, but maybe you do a little bit of done for you then. And then now you have yourself a $1,000 course, and just go focus on selling the snot out of it. Sell it, sell it, sell it, and don't stop selling it. Don't quit. Don't get discouraged. Just keep the faith like I was talking about a second ago, and just go for it. What is your favorite holiday destination and why? My favorite holiday destination is Cayman Islands. Eric, I have heard that some clients sign up and leave halfway through the course. Surely this is due to procrastination. Therefore, how should such clients deal with this matter? Some clients sign up and leave halfway through the course. So, I mean, this is the dimension of distraction. They're chasing so many shiny objects, and they have so many plates spinning. They're doing so many different things that they don't do what I just said. Pick one thing like YouTube marketing, for example, just use an example, and go learn everything you can about YouTube marketing. Now you have specialized knowledge and skills and abilities to go out there and make yourself $1 million a year. So why do people quit halfway through it? It's because they're distracted. They're all over the place. They're learning all kinds of different things. They're not zeroed in on one goal. That's why people will go 5 or 6 years in this business and still not have anything for sale. They've been doing this for 6 years. What do you have for sale? Nothing. Nothing's for sale, right? So I don't know why people do that. I mean, that's their problem. They got to figure it out. We got a lot more questions I'm not going to be able to get to. So I'm going to go back and pick the second winning question, and then we'll just pick up on these questions next time. Let me go back to the beginning here. Well, I'll let you guys on the live call tell me, was there any of these questions, do you think, was deserving to be the winner of the next one here. So Andy's question here, anyone want to vote for that one? Which is, do you think it does a person good to have mentoring, or say a mentoring meeting once a year to reclaim any lost ground with mindset or establish new ground? So mindset, mastermind. Or Eric, what's the critical lesson you learned in business? Mel, techniques to repurpose PLR or hiring people, the cart before the horse, was the question here that I went off on, which really wasn't the question, but that's what I want. Ways you use to find local businesses to work with and how to approach them. Is it possible to build a six-figure business without stress of working 16-hour days? Just type in the person's name. Michelle, was there ever a time when you resisted sharing your personality or struggles online, and how you got over it? What is your main source of traffic? Thor, Lisa P. What are the top 3 things that are always a part of the foundation of a business, and what 3 things change the most? Adrienne, well, she already won. That's one that won. And then these 3 can't win because they're all the same question. Sorry. Which is distraction. John, what has been your most important mindset breakthrough? And then this is the one I skipped because it's too big of an answer. And then Sharon here, if you had to start over again, what would you do and why? What's your favorite holiday destination? And then I have had some people sign up and leave halfway through. Whoops. And you can see all these questions if you go log into the Facebook group, the private Facebook group. Do you guys feel neglected on Facebook because I keep looking over here? You feel like I'm not talking to you because I'm looking over here because I'm reading on the screen, the computer screen? You know, do you feel neglected, like, sad? Yeah, there's some really good questions I haven't got to yet. Maybe I'll just record a video answering those questions, or we'll bring it on the next one. So let me see the votes. Did anyone vote? I got 1 vote. Oh, I had to scroll down here. We got Sharon. We got Sharon. So I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds. There's another vote for Sharon. Michelle. Mentoring. That's not someone's name. Let's go back. Whoops. So we got Andy, we got Eric. Andy, so we got to vote for Andy. What's up, Ron? My man, Ron. We got Mel, we got Thor, we got Sally, we got Michelle. Andy, another vote for Andy. Another vote for Andy. Okay, uh-oh. We got Thor, we got Lisa P. We already got Adrian. She already won 1. We got John, Lewis, and Sharon. Lisa P. We got 1 vote for Lisa. David. Okay, so it looks like Sharon, 1, 2, 3, Michelle, Andy, Lisa, Sharon. Looks like Sharon. Looks like Sharon has 1 more vote than Andy. I'll give it about 10 seconds. Okay, it's Sharon. We're going with Sharon. Well, let me make sure. What was Sharon's question? Yeah. We're going to go with Sharon's question because that was a pretty good one. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the questions in the webinar for today. Let me scroll up here on Facebook because I got some people asking some questions here. Let's see. Oh, hey, Norman, my cousin. You forget on Facebook, man, it reaches everybody. I got some friends on this call. Let's see. I know I saw a question up here. Okay, hey Eric, thanks for reminding me that over 80% won't do the work. I always felt responsible for my clients, getting results no matter what. That's local people. Now I want to build online. We'll have to. It says see more. Let go of that. You have to let go of that. Good. Glad you got a lot out of that. How do we, Joe says, how do we differentiate from genuine info and courses from all the bogus theory-based courses? Bot Mini, which, this is so small, it's real hard for me to read because I'm on my phone. Bot Mini, which all lacked critical, I do, are based on techniques that were short-lived. I mean, I don't know how to tell you who has real stuff and who has bogus stuff, or how to differentiate the difference. I don't have the foggiest idea how to do that. I mean, I think maybe just start small. If they have anything that's cheaper, and see by looking at what's cheap to determine if they are doing, or even if they do anything for free, you can usually tell if they're genuine and sincere and what they're doing for free or what they're doing low cost is good. And if it is, then their higher ticket stuff and their courses and all that should be similar caliber. Or you could just not buy any of their stuff and just buy all my stuff. That'll do it for you. The pace of change on the web is frenzied. How do we keep pace with the constant changes in technology, algorithms, and Google updates? Well, I talked about that on this call. I think it's really important to understand that technology and all that's going to constantly change. And there's so much stuff that I'll be talking to people and colleagues, and they'll say, "Hey, Eric, do you know about this Facebook Live Mentions thing? You can be live on Facebook." No, I did not know that. And now I know, right? So I mean, it doesn't require being on the cutting edge of every freaking thing in order to make a lot of money online, because I'm a classic example of that. It's just impossible. There's just so much stuff coming out. But what is important that you need to stay on top of is your own offer or offers and sales. You're never going to make any money if you're just staying constantly in preparation mode. If you spend your whole career or years just preparing and looking for some golden advice or some golden step-by-step system or some golden solution, eventually you're going to have to stop and look in the mirror and say, it's up to me to succeed, right? No one's going to ever do everything for you, ever. It's impossible. Wake up from that illusion. You have to do it for yourself. So you have to find a product that you're going to sell as an affiliate, or you have to create your own product that you're going to sell, and you have to focus on marketing and selling that product, and then understand that there's not like 1,000 different things you need to do to make a lot of money. There's only like 5 or 6. You need to build a list and build an audience, right? The list doesn't necessarily need to be an email list. It could be a Facebook list, or a Facebook following, or a Twitter following, or something like that. So so A, you need to build a following. B, you need to convert, right? You need to focus on sales and convert via emails, via sales copy, via posts that sell stuff, webinars, whatever. You got to sell. So that's another one. 3 is you're going to need to be able to be functional online. So some of the technical stuff, squeeze pages, sales letters, membership area, upsells, all that kind of stuff. Your autoresponder, the basic fundamentals is what's needed. Okay, you don't need to be super fancy. But it is the information superhighway. It is the internet. So technology is needed. Technical is needed, but very little. And then what else do you need? I mean, there's just not that many things that you need. There's just a handful. Traffic, conversions, product, and technical. But you don't need 1,000 different gizmos and technology to make this business work for you. So ignore the noise, okay? Don't be focused on being a buyer. Be focused on being a seller. Don't try to buy your way to success. Sell your way to success. But we all buy, so buy here and there to help you with that specific thing that you're looking to do. Like earlier when I talked about, if you're going to focus on, you're going to go learn how to be a YouTube marketer, and you go and you spend 2 weeks studying YouTube, and you get to be the best you can be at YouTube. In 2 weeks, you're going to know more about YouTube than the whole entire planet. And it just took you 2 weeks. Maybe even a few days is all it would take if you really poured yourself into it. So you know that so well, and you could go take that knowledge and sell it and market it and put it out there. But what you don't need is 1,000 different things. You just need that one thing. You just need that one thing. Specialized knowledge, that one thing. A plumber can work their entire lives just knowing plumbing. Okay? So you just need that one specialized knowledge. Okay? So I think that helps. Oh, we've had some more votes for Sharon. So Anna asked, what's working best, physical products or digital products? I mean, I have no idea. I think what you mean is physical products. Yeah, physical products or digital products. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really doing any physical products right now, so I couldn't tell you how that's working. But I mean, I'm sure physical products have a cost. But I mean, that I don't really have the answer to that question. I'm all digital. I'm all digital, baby. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and call this a wrap. What do you guys think of your first ever Disclosure Group webinar? Pretty good for free, huh? I'd say. What does Facebook think? All 13, 16 of you guys. Awesome. Future of internet marketing is video because people respond more to video. What do you think? I think so. YouTube is the third largest search engine. Look at this. I'm on video right now. Live on Facebook. Absolutely. Great session. Good stuff. Awesome. You rock. Very good, Eric. Thanks. Thanks for doing this, Eric. Cool. Good stuff. Really enjoyed this, Eric. Thanks, bro. Thanks for the info, man. We'll definitely be tuning in to your next live cast. Thanks. Right on. Awesome. Groundbreaking. That's a cool word. All right, guys. Adios, amigos. See you next time. Bye. Go to disclosuregroup.com, disclosuregroup.com, and go over there if you want more. Bye. Bye, Christian.